Okay, it is 6 p.m. on our July 27th Planning Commission meeting. Call this meeting to order, and can we take a attendance roll call, please?
Commissioner Fajardo?
Present.
Commissioner Lopez?
Present.
Chairperson Isiano?
Present.
And Commissioner Franz and Vice Chairperson Rodriguez Ceja are currently absent.
Okay. Gabriel, would you like to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Yes, please. Right down to your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving on, public comment. Do we have any public comment for items not on the agenda today, Vanessa, either in person or virtually?
There are none.
Okay, being that there are none, we'll take this opportunity to introduce our newest planning commissioner, Gabriel Fajardo. Welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us about yourself. And
Will do. Appreciate that. My name is Gabriel Fajardo. Been a lifelong resident of Indio, California, and presently I'm employed with Desert Sands Unified School District, working as an administrator for Summit Horizon. Both Summit High School and Horizon School share the same alternative ed campus in La Quinta. Prior to that, I served as a principal administrator of Shadow Hills High School here in Indio for the last 7 years. So looking forward as an opportunity to serve in this capacity to help the city of Indio continue its fascinating growth. So thank you.
welcome. We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
Okay. First public hearing item is Resolution 2031, Canopy at Citrus Tentative Parcel Map number 38262. We have a staff report.
Yes, Commissioner Manuel Roca, Assistant Planner, will be providing the staff report, answering any questions.
Okay. Good evening, Commissioners. Manuel Rocha, Assistant Planner with the Community Development Department. So item 4.1 is an application for a tentative parcel map number 38262 requested by the applicant Canopy LP, a California limited partnership. So the project is located at 49730 Jefferson Street, east of Jefferson Street and north of Avenue 50. It's located at the currently being constructed Citrus Plaza 2. The project would subdivide an approximately 8.48 acre parcel into 4 commercial parcels and 1 remainder parcel for future residential and or commercial development. The parcel has a land use designation of neighborhood center and is zoned under the Citrus Plaza 2 specific plan. The project has been found to be exempt from environmental review pursuant to section 15315 minor land divisions of the CEQA guidelines. As conditioned, the project is consistent with the required findings of the Subdivision Map Act. So the figure before you represents the proposed tentative parcel map number 38262. As mentioned, the project was subdivided an approximately 8.48 acre parcel into 4 commercial parcels and 1 remainder parcel for future residential and or commercial development. As shown on the table to the left, there is a breakdown of the parcel sizes being proposed, ranging from 0.76 acres to 3.47 acres. So staff recommendation and conclusion, staff recommends that PC adopt resolution number 2031 to subdivide an 8.48 acre parcel of land into 4 single commercial parcels and 1 remainder parcel located at 49730 Jefferson Street, and determine that the project is exempt from environmental review pursuant to section 15315 minor land divisions. And that concludes my presentations.
Quick question. This doesn't change any of what was brought before us when we were speaking last year as far as the layout and the proposed.
It does not. The specific plan is Manuel referenced. The specific plan is the regulatory document governing land uses, and the design reviews, two separate design review applications that the Planning Commission considered and approved also are valid. This, I think, simply is intended to address future either land sale or financing needs.
So at that,
correct. At this time, if you don't have any questions for staff, you would need to open the public hearing. And I do believe the applicant is present if needed to answer any questions or maybe providing a short presentation.
Yeah, correct.
Then we'll open the public hearing. Do we have any, the applicant wanting to speak or anything to add to your presentation this time?
They're in attendance, but I believe they were just attending if you guys had any questions for them.
Okay.
Mr. Schneider, it's Bob Lichter. Can you hear me?
Thank you.
Do we have any?
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know I'm here.
There are none. I believe Mr. Litcher is trying to speak, possibly.
Yes, it's Bob Lichter, right? I'm available if you have any.
Zach, can you hear us?
Hi, I can when the members of the commission are.
Okay, we can't hear you on our end. Give us one moment. I did receive a chat from one of the participants that they cannot hear anything.
Can you hear me, Vanessa?
Yes, now we could hear you.
Yeah, I think the issue might be you can faintly hear members of the commission when they're making their when they're speaking. I think if members of the commission could speak more directly into the microphone, it would be easier to pick up from the folks joining via Zoom.
Was that better?
Yes.
Okay, and was there somebody else wanting to speak?
Mr. Litcher or Mr. Williams, I saw you pop up. Did you guys have a comment?
No, it's Bob Lichter with the Canopy and Bill Sharon, my architect, and we just want to let you know we're available for any questions. I think it's fairly obvious what we're trying to do, and as Mr. Schneider said, it's basically just to enable us so that we can proceed eventually with undoubtedly the best use, which we think is apartments, which have been previously approved. So the idea is to have that as a separate parcel from a financing standpoint, separate from the retail. That's basically the driving force of this.
Okay, thank you. I don't think we have any other questions then for the applicant. So we'll go ahead and close the public hearing.
Chair, Honorable Chair, members of the Commission, Chair, I might suggest seeing if there are other public comment before closing the hearing this evening.
Oh, yeah, perhaps. Yeah, we did ask and there were no public comments.
I just have one question.
Okay.
So the parcel is what's the difference here from the commercial? That
Commissioner, are you asking?
The applicant. I'm asking the applicant.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Are you asking me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Let's just look, if you've seen the parcel, basically the Canopy retail, what we call the lifestyle center, is well along on construction. It's approximately half the size of the entire parcel. The second phase, which we call phase 2, is and has been approved for an apartment project. So it's basically splitting those two parcels, that parcel in half, and then there's some other splits as it relates to the pad. So the purpose primarily is to just enable us, if we need to separately finance an apartment project or anything else that we would put back there consistent with a specific plan.
Got it. I just need to clarify that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no more staff questions for the applicant and there's no public comments, we'll go ahead and close the hearing. And anybody want?
I can split it. I'll go ahead and make the motion, but I just want to from the applicant. I do shop a lot at the Citrus Plaza. My mail stops there, my dry cleaning. I'm seeing the improvements and the expansion every day. We're really excited. A lot of my family members are excited to see the project get up and going. So I just want to say keep up the good work, and looking forward to your ribbon cutting or groundbreaking. And I'm just going to put it out there for our staff, our planning director as well, to keep us involved in that. But without, if anybody has any other further comments, I want to go ahead and make a motion. So I'm going to make a motion to adopt resolution number 2031, recommending that the City Council approve tentative parcel map 38262 to subdivide a 8.48 acre parcel of the land into 4 single commercial parcels and 1 remainder parcel located at 49730 Jefferson Street, and determine the project is exempt from environmental review pursuant to section 1513 of the California CEQA guidelines.
I'll go ahead and second the motion to approve.
Thank you. Okay, Vanessa, could we please take a roll call vote?
Commissioner Fajardo?
Yeah.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Chairperson Isiano?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right.
I was thinking in Spanish. I communicated in English.
Thank you. Okay. Next item for public hearing is resolution number 2027, approving design review for proposed 86,000 square foot storage facility. Staff report, please.
Good evening. My name is Maribel Covarrubias, Assistant Planner, and I will be presenting on item 4.2 of tonight's agenda, which is a design review for a proposed self-storage facility with associated covered parking stalls for recreational vehicles. The proposed project site is located in northern Indio on Avenue 42, as shown in the map here. Before you, the property is bounded by Avenue 42 to the north, a commercial center to the east, Showcase Parkway to the south, and Caspian Street to the west. Currently, the project site is unzoned. However, after consulting with the city's attorney, the Community Development Director, Kevin Snyder, made a determination that the industrial park zoning designation would be applicable to the project site. The figure here is a proposed site plan for the project that will be constructed on approximately 4.11 acres and will include a 86,063 square foot self-storage facility, 2 loading areas, a sales office, and 25 covered RV parking stalls. Further parking will be available and supplemented by 8 regular parking spaces and 1 ADA compliant parking space. Access to the site will be provided on Avenue 42 as well as on Showcase Parkway. The development of the project will provide for on-site stormwater retention by means of an underground storm storage system. The system is proposed to be constructed at the eastern and southern portions of the project site. Landscaping will occur mainly in the northern and southern areas of the project site and will include deciduous trees, palm trees, shrubs, and decomposed granite will align the perimeter of the project site. Moving into the next few slides, before you will see illustrations of the building elevations for the project. The entire building will contain a height of just under 17 feet. This here is the east elevation, which will measure 460 feet in length. This slide depicts the west elevation, which will measure 465 feet in length and will include the 2 loading areas that will measure 20 feet in depth and 30 feet in length. The north and south elevations will measure a total of 205 feet in length. The sales office will be located at the northwest corner of the building. And overall, the architectural design of the self-storage facility building will incorporate CMU, stucco, storefront glass, and corrugated metal panel exterior. And the color scheme will consist of gray and green. The RV canopy will consist of a steel frame structure with a corrugated metal roof and will stand at a height of 15 feet. To conclude, staff's recommendation is for this design review is to adopt resolution number 2027, conditionally approving the proposed self-storage facility and to determine the project is categorically exempt from CEQA pursuant to CEQA guidelines section 15332 infill development projects. This will conclude my presentation. I, as well as the applicant, will be available for questions. This one here.
I had a quick question, and thank you so much for the presentation. I understand that there was a discovery of what appeared to be an owl habitat by way of the EIA report, if I'm not mistaken. What's been sort of the conclusion to that, if anything?
I have a response for it, just a second.
I want to say that it was discovered to be in front of one of the trees that was also discovered there on the property.
Okay, an active burrowing owl burrow was observed in an area adjacent to the project site. Is that what you're inquiring?
That's affirmed. Just wanted to see if there was any additional concern or mitigation strategies that could potentially.
So this will entail a pre-construction clearance survey prior to any ground disturbance.
Copy that. Thank you.
And if I could add, typically in these instances, the applicant will work with the California Department of Fish and Wildlife on potential relocation strategies. Typically, there's not a requirement to retain the habitat area, but to ensure that they are relocated to an appropriate alternate habitat location. So the applicant will be required to do that prior to any site construction activities.
Thank you.
That would pertain even though it's been located to be adjacent to the property? It would still?
If it's going to impact that, yes. Okay. So the ultimate determination of impact will determine if they have to engage on that. But if it's not going to impact it, and that's, I think, what Maribel was referring to as the pre-construction, they will make that determination. And if there is going to be a direct impact, they will have to engage with the California Department of Fish and Wildlife.
Thank you. Any other questions for staff? No? Thank you for your report. We'll open the public hearing, and first we will see if we can hear from the applicant, if the applicant has anything to present or say.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, this is Rob Bernheimer. I represent the applicant, and we have our team here that's available to answer questions. We have Patrick Cruz, who was our CEQA consultant from DUDEC. We have Mr. Kinsey, who's the architect, who can provide information on the architecture, and Juan Rosales, who is our civil engineer. So they're all available if you have those types of questions. I think that the question on the burrowing owl has been adequately addressed by staff. Also, just to make a short presentation, is Brian Kearney, who's one of the vice presidents with the applicant, and I'll turn it over to him now, and he has just a short presentation to make.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen if that's okay. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, let me get it into slideshow mode. All right, is that showing up full screen?
Yes.
All right. Well, appreciate your guys' time. Again, I'm Brian Kearney with Johnson Development Associates. Just have a very quick presentation for you guys. Should only be a few minutes. So just a little background on our company. Johnson Development is part of the Johnson Group of companies. We are a national developer. We have regional offices on both coasts, as well as in Texas. And I work out of the office we have in El Segundo near LA. We focus primarily on self-storage facilities, but we also develop industrial and multifamily projects. So this slide shows a list of our 46 open and operating self-storage facilities. As you can see, there's a number of different locations and markets there. We have 4 open and operating in Southern California, including the one pictured to the right, our Aliso Viejo facility that opened in 2020. But this just shows we have a wide breadth of experience, and delivering a project like this successfully will not be our first one, and we're confident that we can get it done as presented here. And then just to focus a little bit more on our Southern California experience, just wanted to show before and after pictures here of 3 of our 4 facilities that are open in Southern California. A little bit of a common theme here. We're taking either a vacant parcel or a more rundown property. And then the after picture you can see is a photo of a Class A climate controlled, really nice self-storage facility with some good architecture that fits in with the surrounding community. And then more specifically to the presentation tonight, for the property on Avenue 42, I just wanted to show a current street view from Avenue 42, as well as a proposed rendering of what the finished product would look like. So staff did a great job outlining all the materials and the articulation of the building, and we think it'll be a nice looking building that would fit into the corridor here along Avenue 42. So that's all I had as far as presentation goes. But like Rob said, we are here to answer any questions.
Yeah, and I'll just jump back in and state, as you can see from that last picture, this project is adjacent to sort of the entire back of the house of the shopping center adjacent to us. And then that's where we've put the covered storage for RV storage, which is in really high demand right now. People are looking for places to park their RVs. So we think that's a really good spot to put it, because it's just back a house to the neighbor. And then we have, I think, some really nice architecture that provides the streetscapes, as well as nice architecture to the west, which will face another vacant parcel that's yet to be developed. So with that, we turn it back over to you, and we're here to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions for the applicants?
None.
I'm just curious, and thank you so much for that information, gentlemen. Now, in terms of the height of the building, I think one read that you'd mentioned it was 17 feet. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Potential obstructions from any of the view of the mountain areas or anything like that that may have come out as a result of, the report? I realize that it may be behind some commercial buildings, but any residential areas impacted by the height of buildings?
So,
general knowledge.
In terms of the height of the structure relative to, for example, the residence to the north, if that's what you're asking, Commissioner?
That's correct.
So the response is we don't have a requirement for doing a view corridor analysis. However, 17 feet is significantly below the allowable height standard for this particular zoning situation. So I believe that given the distance from those residences, as they're on the other side of Avenue 42, any vertical view distance in terms of mountain views or vistas would be minimally impacted because you do have the appropriate elevation grade difference from the houses to the range, if you will.
Thanks, Kevin. Thank you.
I have a couple questions for applicant. That 17-foot height, is that the overall roof line height, or does that go higher for, look like there were some sections, some parapet sections, maybe for shielding equipment and things like that, ACs and such?
17 feet should be our tallest parapet.
Okay. Okay. And how many units are going to be in this proposed storage facility?
So we're looking at just around 800 units, and there'd be of various sizes. Some as small as a 5x5 unit, if you just had an apartment or a couple boxes, or as big as a 10x20 unit for larger houses or business needs as well.
Okay. Question for staff, if I may. 86,000 square feet is pretty big. What would be the closest or the largest presently in the city? Out of the ones that have come before us the last few years, this sounds by far and large to be the biggest one.
I don't think we did a comparison, but I think your intuition is correct. This would be probably one of the larger self-storage facilities we have seen in the city. It's obviously, it meets all the development standard requirements, but in terms of the massing of it and an enclosed structure, it may be, if not largest, one of the largest.
Okay. And in your research, did you choose this area of Indio for any particular reason? Do you find that that side of the north side of the freeway had a greater need, or do you anticipate getting business kind of from all over the valley?
Yeah, we specifically targeted Indio for a number of reasons. First and foremost, the supply of self-storage in this area is supremely lacking, especially climate-controlled facilities. So the way we measure supply in the storage industry is amount of rentable square feet per person. The national average is about 7.0. And in the surrounding area, the total climate-controlled storage supply is only 2.68 rentable square feet per person. So that just tells you there's a major need for the storage use in India. And then on top of that, the facilities that are existing, on average, they're about 20 years old. And, we've done some research on those properties. They're all 95% plus occupied as of July 26th. So we were doing that research up to this week. So that means there's only a handful of units available in these other storage facilities in Indio. And that allows, that operator to increase their rates because there's such a limited supply. So we're trying to alleviate that for the folks of Indio and get them better prices on storage units.
Well, thank you very much.
If I may, sir, I have a follow-up question. Brian, thank you so much. Out of curiosity, out of the 800 plus units, are any of those climate controlled Class A units that are incorporated?
Yeah, so every one of the units will be climate controlled except for the ones that you have drive up access to. So I think it's at least 80 to 90% of the units will be climate controlled, which I think is super important in this area.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. If there's no
Pardon the interruption. It seems to be the audio feed cut out for those joining on Zoom.
Yes.
I think they got muted.
Chair or Secretary Castillo or anyone in the audience, can you hear those on Zoom?
Yes, can you hear us?
Yep, now we can. It just seemed to have been muted for a minute or two.
Okay.
All right. We'll go ahead and motion to adopt resolution number 2027, conditionally approving the design review for the architecture, site plan, parking, circulation and landscape, and proposed self-storage facility with covered spaces for recreational vehicles to be located at 82815 Avenue 42, and determine the project is exempt from the requirements of the California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to the CEQA guidelines.
And Chair and members of the commission, if I may, just for the benefit of the folks joining via Zoom, I wanted to confirm that the public hearing was closed. There were no public comments, and now you're in the deliberation phase after closing the public hearing. Just to touch base, given that we had a little bit of a cutout here on the AV side.
That's correct. Public hearing was closed at 6:29 with no public comments.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll go ahead second.
Okay, thank you. Let's take a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Fajardo?
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez?
Yes.
Chairperson Isiano?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen, for bringing this before us. And
thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay. Commissioner comments? Any commissioner comments in general? Okay. Staff, Kevin?
Yes, just a couple. One, and it relates to your next agenda. So for the August 10th agenda, we would like to do a study session with the commission on the draft Highway 111 corridor specific plan. We do have a conflict with one of our consultant team members, and they did ask for the potential for holding that meeting on August 11th, which will be Thursday, and possibly starting at 5:30 p.m. So I wanted to check with the commission to see about your availability for an alternate meeting date. It would be a special meeting date. We would appropriately notice it, but would the commissioners that are present be available and willing to swap the August 10th regular meeting for a special meeting on August 11th at 5:30 p.m. The sole agenda item would be the Highway 111 corridor specific plan. We do not have any other agenda items planned for August 10th at this time.
I should be able to.
You said that was at 5:30?
We would like to do a little earlier start because one of our consultants is on the East Coast. So they asked if it'd be possible to start at 5:30.
Earlier start for that reason, not because we anticipate it.
No, I mean, we will obviously public advertise it, but that she did ask if it was possible to have a little earlier start. And so if the commissioners present are agreeable, we will go forward with August 11th at 5:30 p.m. We will notify the other commissioners as well, obviously, and then we will notify the public of the special meeting.
That's okay.
Okay. A couple other things. Commissioner Lopez had asked earlier about making sure that being notified about grand openings, and I will let you know that while they're out selling cars, the Kia has not yet scheduled their grand opening. They have a couple remaining things to do, but that will be scheduled, and we will be notified, and I will make sure the commission is made aware of that grand opening date. They've had some kind of lingering material supply issues, which is quite common today. So they don't want to have their grand opening until the site is done. So I will, and then obviously future projects, as we become aware, we'll make sure that the commission is made aware of those opportunities to attend if you're so interested. The other thing is, I think the commission, the majority of you are aware, our senior planner, Alyssa Suarez, did leave us to pursue a wonderful opportunity to get a full ride education in getting her master's degree. So while we were sad to see her go, we do have the opportunity to bring on a new planner. I won't announce it yet because we're still waiting to sign documents, but we will hopefully have a new person on board soon to work with Manuel and Maribel, who are doing great work and really appreciate what they're doing and appreciate the commission's support of them. So I just wanted to update you on that. And then the final thing, the two quick things just for awareness and education. One is that the commission may remember the commission took action to recommend the zoning code to the city council. That is going to city council on August 17th for public hearing and first consideration. So if the commission is interested in attending or tuning in virtually, that will be in front of the council again on August 17th. The other thing is that this commission did take recommendation action previously to the city council on cannabis related regulations. And just to update the commission, the last council meeting on July 20th, the commission identified the total number of cannabis permits that would be authorized in the city, and that number is 5 citywide. The council also took action to identify the application procedures and the application guidelines and the evaluation procedures. So when those applications are received, there is a specified process they will go through. It's a transparent process. Everyone will be looked at the same. And there will be right now we are planning for the period of application to be from September 1 to October 6th. And then following that, there will be initial screening and review. Ultimately, there will be a committee made up of senior staff that will review those and make recommendations to council for their consideration. So just wanted to update you on the status of that. And one final thing, on August 17th, the council will be taking action on recommended cannabis-related fees, which we presented to the city council on the July 20th meeting, and they were in agreement. So just wanted to make sure the commission was up to date on our cannabis-related activities.
Thank you. Quick question on the 5 cannabis-related permits.
Yes.
Is there a guideline for how many of those are retail or production? Or
I apologize. I should have been more clear. These are for 5 cannabis storefront retail only. We actually are going to do a separate process for non-storefront delivery applications, but we're focusing on the storefront at this moment. And then at this time, when the council initially considered this and gave direction to staff to work with the planning commission, they did not want to proceed with any manufacturing, production, distribution, research, and lab. So at this time, those activities around cannabis would not be allowed in the city. It's primarily focused on storefront retail and then non-storefront delivery.
Do we have any approximate average for neighboring cities what they allow for storefront retail? Is 5 in the middle?
It varies. Yeah,
on the high end or the low end?
We're I think on the low end. For example, we know the city of Palm Springs is over 30 that they've allowed. I believe in other cities around us, they're higher than that. But the council felt that an appropriate start to our entry into the cannabis world was to go with 5. That is based on a population. So in the regulations that the council adopted, the regulatory regulations that didn't come before the planning commission, they identified a range of population per permit that could be used. 15,000 persons to 25,000 persons. So the staff recommendation was 17,500 persons per permit, which equates to 5 permits based on the current census population. So that's how that was derived.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And that is it for the staff comments.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us for your first meeting, Gabriel.
Thank you.
And at that, we will adjourn to next planning meeting on possibly Thursday, special meeting Thursday, August 11th.
Beginning at 5:30.
Beginning at 5:30.
Yes.
Thank you.